Hey guys, Joel Haver here with one last video about filmmaking to round off this sort of month-long series of filmmaking videos. And so far I've talked about making movies for $0, I've talked about improvising movies, I've talked about being a jack of all trades, but I think I missed the most important step, and that's the story. It's what you capture, what you tell a story about. And this is the hardest one to talk about because it's so subjective, and it should be subjective, and maybe that's the best answer there is. It's what do you want to make a story about? Make it about you, you know. It could be as literal as that is. It could just be a documentary about your life, or it could be what you're feeling, what you're going through. Trust your gut. And I think improving is a good way to trust your gut. It lets you just roll with it, and subconscious things will emerge through that process. But I think the easiest way to get stuck in filmmaking is just like trying to come up with the perfect idea rather than just rolling with an idea that it might not be perfect, but it grabs you in some way. And it's always worth pursuing and feeling an idea out if it speaks to you at all on any level that is beyond just like, you know, if you're like, ooh, you know, if you have like a little thought of excitement, it's worth chasing that idea. And as far as how I go about getting my ideas, it's random. It could be a conversation, you know, it could be like a conversation that I have with somebody. It could be a thought that I wake up with in the middle of the night. It could be I watch a movie and I think of a parody, or I watch a movie and I'm like, I love what that movie's doing. Like, look for inspiration, you know. I think a lot of people get too picky about copying. People are like, oh, you're copying, you're doing the same thing, but like inspiration is so valid. Like if you see a movie and you like what it's doing and you love what it's doing, like do that thing and then find the way to add your personal spin onto it, you know. My first couple movies were shot on VHS, We Are Sasquatch and 31 Days in Marshall, North Carolina. But they both start with this very simple idea. They start with this idea, We Are Sasquatch. It was, I want to find, like I did a year of making a short every week, and I'm like, I want to make my first feature. And I want to do it with my friends in my hometown because they're who I'm most comfortable making movies with, and I want to just like make a movie in my hometown. So I did that, you know, that was the idea that I built upon. I'm like, what's the story we could tell? That came about through conversations, that came about through this. I sat down and figured out some of the story with my friends. But like, the impetus was, I want to make a movie in my hometown, and then I started going towards that direction because anything else felt like it would fall into place from there. And then 31 Days in Marshall, North Carolina is more of a conceptual movie that turned into a narrative. And that was me and my friend Dylan went down to a town we'd never been to, and we announced this project on Kickstarter. We kickstarted it for I think $1,500, and that was just for gas and living expenses for a month. But we wanted to go to a town where no one, you know, we'd never been to, and make a movie with the strangers there. And we did that, and you know, that's a great impetus. You know, you meet all these characters. If you go to a strange place with a goal, and you can go up to people and tell them like, yeah, we're making a movie, like it's exciting, and the creative people, the people who really want to like be involved will be like, oh shoot, that sounds awesome, I want to be in it. And suddenly you have scenes just emerging, you know, and that's another great excuse, you know, like if you have people in your life and you think they don't want to be in a movie, chances are in the right conditions, if you make it comfortable, if you make it not this stressful ordeal, they will want to be in a movie. You know, your parents, your friends, your aunt, your uncle, you know. And then I wrote a script for my next feature, taking a little time to feel sorry for myself. And I didn't like the scripting process because I'm beyond happy with that movie. It has a lot of great scenes. I think it's creative in moments. I think everyone on board everyone who acted did such a great job. But it just didn't challenge me because I'm just like, oh, everything fell into place, you know. Everything just happened to fall into place, and it worked out as it was written on the page. And as I was filming, I even felt some like, oh man, I should have been more loose in these moments. I should have not been so such a stickler for the script. And I wasn't like a dictator with it or anything, but I did pretty well stay word to word with what I wrote. And I think a script is a good way to get a movie going, but it has a lot of room for writer's block. And I think you could write a script forever and perfecting it, and on set you should just allow yourself to be more loose. And I think a more improvised, carefree execution of a script is just as good as a fourth, fifth, sixth draft would be. You know, it irons out the kinks if you're not such a stickler. And whenever I watch that movie, beyond some like glaring problems with like ADR and stuff, like some of the audio wasn't great, but I just always wish, I wish I was just a little more loose, because it is a fun story that's like hampered by this dialogue and stuff. And then I made this movie Island, which I really just felt out day to day. I felt out how I felt. You know, I didn't like question. I just filmed with my gut. And that's another thing you could do. Like roll the camera, just roll the camera. Don't think about the grander narrative. Don't think about the story in such a sense. Just roll it. What are you feeling today? What do you want to do today? Is it worth filming? Is it something that you want to express? Do you think it speaks to something inside you? Then film it. And I kind of took that feeling and I've carried it through the rest of my projects. Pretend That You Love Me very directly was you know, an evolution on what I did in Island. I think it was a day to day, just figuring it out. Do I want to film today? What do I want to film? What am I feeling? Is this thing in my life relevant? Should I capture it? Should I put it in this movie? These are things you could figure out on your own terms. I think we're all on our own journeys, and I could only tell you so much. But I think trusting your gut in any case is such a simple piece of advice, but I don't think we take it to heart when we hear it when we should. And I think it's easy to be like, trust my gut, but I should get like somebody to look at this. I should get somebody to look this over. And it's never a bad thing to have a friend like look at like a script or a film, or talk about an idea with a friend. But I think if you want to make something personal, or you want to make something from yourself, allow it to be that flawed thing. You know, just make it, and it won't be perfect, but it'll come out way more you if you just kind of roll with it. And as you make more and more movies, how you express you will be refined, and it'll be polished in a way that's like, it's like, oh, now I can communicate what I'm feeling without feeling blocked up or feeling like I'm overthinking. And yeah, so I hope this series was somewhat interesting. I feel like I have a very specific way of making films, and I'm never saying my way's the Bible. You can make movies however you want, and if anything, that's what I'm encouraging above all else. I just think my way I found to be so much more free than what I was taught in film school. I found it to be so much more exciting and invigorating, and it challenges me every step of the way. And I think that's what art can and should do when we're doing it. It should challenge us. It should make us confront ourselves. It should make us work through things. And I found the process for me that does that for me. And just keep making until you find your process. You know, you're not going to get it right out the gates. You're going to stumble. You're going to do what I did and try a scripted movie and find out you don't like doing it. You're going to try a movie one way and find out it's not for you. And that's just as valuable as doing the right thing. Doing the wrong thing is just teaching you just as much, if not more. So, yeah, this channel is going to be about movies and filmmaking. And I carry a lot of my filmmaking into watching movies. And I carry a lot of what I love about movies into my filmmaking. I think they very directly feed into each other. So it's really a two-way street. So I hope this foray into like film, behind the scenes of filmmaking was interesting. And once again, I filmed it with these lights, green screen. This is just for a show to show you it's like about movie making. I don't use this much equipment. This isn't like to be like, you need this. This is just like what we have in our garage and with the people I live with. So I hope you have a nice rest of your day, whatever day this comes out. And I love movies. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. I hope this was fun. Bye bye.